and Drink Show. Dads and Drink Show. Dads and Drink Show. Dads and Drink Show.
Hey, it's Dads and Drink Show, episode 5. If I lose my other hand, I won't be able to count episodes anymore.
We're done. 5 and 5.
Oh, I can count the back 5 and then the front. So I can count to 10 on one hand, 20 on two hands, and 40. Well, no, I can't turn my feet upside down. I'm not that flexible. Anywho.
Not until we do the episode on yoga.
Woo-wee. I tell you what. Hey, I meant to say this last episode, but I apologize. I might not be in the live comments because Tampa Bay Lightning playoff games. 1 was last week's episode, and 5, assuming we get there, without revealing when we recorded this episode, is also Thursday. So I might not be in the live comments, but I'm there in spirit. And we're spirits aplenty, eh? We want to dive into drinking. And I think this video will kind of guide us through the episode. Dads and Drinks, obviously, drinks is a part of the show. And let's dive into the deep end, shall we?
Into the deep end. This one worked out really well, Jeff, because it does talk about the levels of drunk. And I think all of us who have ever experienced a night that you're going to go out with your buddies and it's time to go drinking, we walk through these steps. But the more veteran you become, such as yourself and I, we don't feel stages 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5 and 6 and 7 is where it really kicks in. But let's talk about how it progresses for those of you out there, like maybe the young goat Isaac who might be listening. Let's walk him through the stages.
Yeah, well, hopefully he's very early in his progression. But yeah,
levels of being drunk that you may experience when drinking. Of course, alcohol affects everyone differently, but these are some common things that almost everyone has experienced at least once. For level 1, we have buzzed. The first effects from the alcohol are starting to kick in. You'll find yourself with a very slight smile on your face and a warm sensation in your stomach. You'll still be able to walk and talk normally, but not for long. Level 2 is tipsy. At this point, you're...
All right. Well, here we go already. Buzzed. I mean, is it fair to say that if you drink enough, see, I'm so buzzed I haven't even gotten our background out of the picture.
Look.
Buzzed.
Buzzed is the fun stage. Buzzed is the fun stage. That's when you've had a horrible, stressful, shitty day, and you're just like, I just want to go out, and you have a couple drinks, and buzzed is that stage where it takes it all away. The mistake is thinking that buzzed only grows, right? That buzzed only gets better. There's a very fine line in this world that is called alcohol. That buzzed may not always lead to better. But buzzed is euphoric. That's all we want. We just want to amplify buzzed.
Well, you know, once you've been past buzz, sometimes
it's hard to go back.
It's hard to go back. I don't know why the full screen in this is causing some issues, but hopefully it helps us avoid Tom Segura claim this as his property. Because that Peruvian fuck wants to steal our Coke money. I don't mean cocaine money. I mean Coca-Cola, like nickels like in a machine.
I'm just saying we're down like 50 cents at this point. Between like fucking A&E and Tom Segura, they owe us $1 at least. I'm just saying.
Cons. They're both cons. And so is Bert Kreischer.
So we want to get past buzz, Jeff. Where do we want to go?
starting to feel more euphoric. Shame levels are falling and your confidence is rising. You're going to start feeling a lot more talkative and socially lubricated. You'll feel a bit more loose, like you don't have to think as much when it comes to socializing.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
all that spaghetti that falls out of your pockets when you try to talk to people when you're sober? Well, it's nice and boxed up in the fridge when you're drunk. No need to worry about dropping all your spaghetti. Level 3 is sloshed.
I was literally gonna bring spaghetti in my pockets as a prop, but I ate it all.
Well, look, I'm a little bit surprised that we go from like buzzed to, you know, the whole little happy and then sloshed. Like slosh doesn't seem like
Level 3 slosh,
right?
Oh,
I mean,
boy.
at least my definition of sloshed is way down the line of level 3. Like sloshed is a whole different mess.
Yeah. Sloshed is I'm regretting not sending a photo earlier of myself.
Look,
Sloshed is a thing.
sloshed is never actually combined with spaghetti in my pocket. I don't know where that comes from, but I've never really
I do love
wondered about spaghetti. I do love spaghetti, but when have you ever had it just fall out your pocket in a conversation? I'm not quite sure what that's all about.
I think it's like mental spaghetti. It's like mess.
Okay.
That's what there was a conversation I had, and I don't know if this was stolen from someone, but someone once said, would you rather someone walk in on you masturbating or eating spaghetti? And I said, masturbating is probably a little less chaotic.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I'm like, well, that's not even a question. But
Do you have chaotic masturbation?
well, I mean, way more chaotic than me eating spaghetti. I mean,
Well, I don't think you eat spaghetti right, sir.
well, you're Italian. I will bow to your knowledge on this.
Do you
Look.
do you break the spaghetti when you cook it?
No,
Oh, okay.
never.
Okay.
What I do like is that they jump the levels because, as we'll discuss throughout this, Jeff, I am that drunk that I can hold my shit together. I will be lucid. We will have great conversation. I will be charming. And then I will take one more shot and I am an absolute puddle. Bro, there is no gentle decline. There is no gentle decline. I incline.
It's a plateau
And I fall.
Yeah.
I incline and I fall. There's not even a plateau. I just boom, it's done. So if level 3 is sloshed, where are we going?
Fair to say, I know that.
3 is sloshed. This is when you start to feel more and more disinhibited. You lose your filter. See, normally when you're sober, the little person that lives inside your head kinda double checks everything you're gonna say before you say it. That way you don't say anything stupid. Well, when you're drunk, that little dude just stops checking.
By the way, nice boobs.
Look,
Yeah, we've all been there.
So you're much more likely to say stupid shit you wouldn't normally say. Another common side effect is you just kind of start to talk in all caps.
Yes. So one thing I always said is when I get drunk, it's like a speaker whose volume knob got broken, right? Like when you turn the volume up, everything gets loud and distorted. That's me right now.
But what's funny, what's funny is you don't notice it's happening, right? I think we've all had that moment where we're having what we consider to be a normal conversation, and the person in front of you is like, dude, you don't need to yell. You're like, what? I'm not yelling. Like it just naturally progresses. Is it because your hearing gets worse or your passion gets higher?
Your passion gets higher. You know what? I'm going to save this story until the drugs episode because a friend gave me MDMA once thinking it would cut my drinking down. It did not.
No.
And I was ultra caps lock all night.
And you felt like you had really important shit to say.
Oh my God. I was the king of the castle.
Oh,
Everything you have to say becomes really important. This is the point where you may notice you have to pee a lot. Now, my friends used to call this breaking the seal, as in the first time you pee.
My friends used to. Everyone still calls it that. Come on.
Yes.
You don't need to reinvent the wheel, dude.
While
But
you're
isn't it-
drinking is when you've broken the seal, and
It's
now the
true. It's true, right? Like the first time that you go to pee when you're drinking, like you have literally just signed yourself up for every 10 minutes I'm going to the bathroom. Like that first one literally
that's
is
why
the floodgates opening.
That's why on the Dads and Drink Show we have a strict urethra blockage policy.
Look, our first partner is going to be
Makes
that
we
dude.
don't have to piss every.
Right. Our first partner is going to be that dude that sells the bag that you can just pee into. It's catheter, but not a catheter.
Canadian buddy.
That's going to be our that's going to be our first sponsor right there.
It's a little condom piss into your ankle.
Keep it rolling.
the floodgates are open and you're going to have to keep peeing all the time. But personally, I prefer to drink water with each drink that I have. So I just embrace
pussy.
I'm sorry. That's all I'm saying. Is like, dude, if you're out with any of your friends and they're mixing a water in between it, like, okay, is it intelligent in hindsight 2020? Yeah, you're not going to be hungover. But at the same time, dude, if you're going to go all in. Fuck this water in between drinks thing. Come on.
Yeah.
Thank
Fall
you.
out or don't show up, motherfucker.
Right. Yeah.
Embrace peeing often, because not drinking enough water is probably the biggest factor in getting a bad hangover the next day.
Never had a hangover in my life. So,
we have to dig deeper. We have to dig deeper in that, Jeff, because look, episode two, you were way drunker than I was.
Oh, yeah.
I was way more decapitated the next day, dude. I don't function the older that I get. And again, I got about 10 years on you at this point, right? I'm 45. So I got, but hangovers are not okay as you get older. They just, I can't imagine. You have never had a hangover in your life. Dude, it's the most debilitating, horrible feeling in the entire world.
The worst thing I've ever had, which happens somewhat often, is like I'll wake up and I'll be like, I'm ravished, I'm starving, I need food, and then I get today I got Chick-fil-A because I got drunk last night. I was recording a podcast.
The flip side of hangover
not a bad life.
Look, no. The flip side of hangover is I feel really hungry, but if I smell water, I'm gonna puke. Like hangover is so far beyond, like I don't want anything close to food near me. I need it, but if it gets near me, it's not going to be pretty.
Oh Jesus. No, I just want to eat and I drink water like a fish.
That's kind of a superpower.
I know. I am immortal.
Yeah, no, I'm saying my ex-wife, like we used to, like when we were hanging out, we would drink till like 3 a.m. and just be horrible, like blind ass drunk, and go to bed. And at 7 o'clock in the morning, she would wake up and go to work and be fine. Like she would just wake up and go to work. If I drink till 3 a.m, don't even try to talk to me the entire next day. Like there's no chance. Like I'm not even going to acknowledge my phone. It's not going to happen. Like there's certain people who can bounce back and certain people who can't. I'm in that can't camp really hard. You, sir, have superpowers.
Yeah. No, my ex-wife used to have hangovers. Used to be like driving down the road. She's like, pull over, I'm going to puke. And be like,
yep.
Apparently God made us so that I could drink and you can drive. But she couldn't drive very well because she was a woman. So
look, you know what alcohol taught me? Alcohol taught me really quickly that I don't have a hero complex. You know, those like people who have a hero that like, I'm going to be a hero and I'm going to push through it. Alcohol taught me really quick. I don't have that complex. I'm like, no, I'm hungover, so I'm just going to go back to bed. I have no need to be the hero here. I'm out.
I mean, in fairness, I woke up at 6 a.m. and I had been drinking and, shenanigans yesterday. And I woke up and I ordered Chick-fil-A delivered. I ate some and I'm like, did a little bit of work and I'm like, I'm going to go back to sleep for a couple hours.
I'm so jealous. I'm so
But
jealous.
I wasn't like it was like I just drank a couple bottles of water. I'm like, I'm not gonna drink coffee because I don't think this is my only wake up of the day.
Look, I'm just saying, alcohol again has taught me, like, I've never looked at food in fear. Like, my son is 7 years old. If I try to give him something new to eat, he has like a fear in his head because he's never eaten it. He just won't touch it because he has no idea what it'll do. That's me after alcohol. I'm like, I don't even care. I don't want any food near me. If I smell it, like, it ain't gonna work, dude. I don't rebound.
Well, if you look at videos on this channel, I will prove that drunk eating is a thing that I
Drunk Jeff has a stomach of iron of steel. Let's do it.
yeah, and I don't
Level
throw
4,
up.
tossed. Bro, yo, bro, please, bro, can I hit the jewel? Bro, please, just one hit.
Is the jewel a euphemism for cocaine? Because
No, the jewel is some bullshit vape thing. But here's what I will tell you. Like, Jeff, you're not a smoker, right? Never have been?
only if it gets me laid.
Well, yeah, we discussed that one on the early one. Well
We
played,
did,
sir.
right?
Again, I say the old adage, like, I grew up in North Carolina. You go from, like, you grow up, you have the nipple, the bottle, the Marlboro, like, everything is smoking. Like, I'm a smoker. There is something about drinking that increases that to an insane level. There are many nights that I've woken up, and I think I probably had more hangovers from smoking 2 packs of cigarettes the night before than I did from the actual alcohol. Like, when you're drinking, if you're a smoker, that shit just goes on, like, it's like turbo. It's unbelievable. Like, drinking and smoking just go hand in hand if you're that person. Like, I see the look. Like, as a non-smoker, it doesn't resonate, but it really does. Like, nicotine, you start chasing that like it is the holy grail, dude. It's insane.
I mean, it'll get us banned, but when you're drunk enough, that's also how you act with cocaine. From not the personal experience, but
So I've heard. No, I've seen that.
yeah, I'm browning out.
Right.
My nose is thirsty.
Yeah, my nose is thirsty. That's the first time that I ever seen that it blew my mind. But you're right. The way that I saw people react chasing coke is the way that people who smoke normally act chasing nicotine when they're drinking. It's insane, dude. And the funny thing is like 3/4 of the cigarette never gets smoked. They just light it and then start rambling and talking some bullshit until it just goes
an oral
out.
fixation.
It's
so
an oral fixation.
They can all just suck my. I wanted to hit the play at the perfect time.
Dude, just one hit from the jewel, bro, please. Yeah, if you consume nicotine, this is when you're gonna turn into Schmeagol looking for his precious vape. For some reason, alcohol really potentiates the nicotine. Also
the cocaine.
So loss of shirts is a common side effect at this stage. If you're at a party and you see someone shirtless, they're tossed.
I mean, in fairness, I don't think I've ever taken my shirt off because I'm drunk.
Not you.
Well, except for any time I've had sex.
All right. Well, look, not you, but I happen to have, it's a really weird conundrum in Delaware. In Delaware, you have beaches and levels, right? So there's like a beach that's like a sort of family fun beach. And then there's like a college, absolute crazy ass beach. And then literally like the insane, it just grows in levels, right? So when in the summer, if you go there, I've unfortunately grown through all of those eras where I'll go down and like you can have your family and your friends and hang out at one beach. You go to the next one, it's like a drunken frat party, and you go to the other, and it's like your family with your kids and the whole deal. But when you get to that middle part, it's not you or me, Jeff. I feel like I know you well enough to say this. We're not those Chads that need to take our shirts off. But in that middle beach, man, Yeah, a little bit of alcohol means like abs are coming out, pecs are being done. I've seen guys just flat out doing chin-ups in the middle of a bar. There's no reason to do chin-ups in the middle of a bar and or push-ups, but it apparently is a thing. So yes.
They get ripped, but they don't metabolize alcohol like a superhero.
No.
By the way, I teased this. I've got to jump into this. This is a good point to do it. The Office story from last week.
Oh yes, bring it back. Let's go.
So there was this beach day. I live in Florida, as you know, if you've watched episode 3 or probably every episode,
Right.
And there was always a beach day, an office beach day, where your office can go and compete in dodgeball, tug of war, volleyball, some sort of obstacle course, all these things. And it's basically like show up and get drunk on the beach. And it's on St. Pete Beach. I live in St. Pete. My office is in Tampa, and only locals to Florida will understand. Like, it's an hour away, but for St. Pete Beach is like 10 minutes away. But it always fell on a weekend. I had my kids, so I was like, sorry, can't do it. Got the kids, don't want to get drunk in front of all of you stupid assholes I work with. And then one weekend it fell on a weekend. I didn't have my kids, and I'm like, well, fuck it. What do we do there? They're like, oh, you show up. I'm like, I'm not doing anything athletic. It's out of the question. I'm like, can I just show up and get drunk? They're like, yes, you can. And I'm like, giddy up. So 7 a.m, I'm getting an Uber to St. Pete Beach from my house. I'm sober, but I'm not driving home. I know myself. And I got a backpack with a handle of Captain Morgan and a 2-liter of Diet Coke. It's my morning drink, or it used to be. And I show up, and they're doing backpack checks at all the entry points. So I walk a mile down the road and go through another hotel on the beach where they're not doing it. Then I walk with my backpack another mile down the beach, which is in sand, a lot of walking. And I show up with my backpack and my Tervis already full of although almost empty by the time I arrived, of a Captain and Diet. And I'm like, I'm here. Let's do this thing. I realized during the course of the day, and I did participate in dodgeball, which I should have the video of this. Maybe in a future episode. There was a great highlight moment of me playing dodgeball. A great one.
Adult dodgeball is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. It was good. Well, yeah, we'll show that on a future episode. Don't let me forget. But during the day, I'm just filling this gigantic Tervis up with Captain Morgan, a little bit of Diet Coke. By the end of the day, I was feeling pretty good. Now, by the end of the day, I mean like 7 a.m. to noon.
Look, sorry, I just have to backtrack on this. Only a fucking work event. We did a work thing before on a different episode. Only a fucking work event will be on the weekend. And they're like, oh, we start at 7 a.m. Excuse me, CEO. Not all of us get up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. You can't sleep the fuck in like one day.
Well,
it's a recipe for destruction.
So we're going to leave there, and I'm like, hey, who's going to the next bar? Because one guy's wife brought a friend who I wanted to bang, and there was an intern who I was like, I'd bang her, except for she showed up with a 50-year-old dude. And I'm like, you're 22. What are you doing with this guy? I made fun of him a lot. It's aggressive. Anywho, I hope.
I'm guessing that it actually worked out for you pretty well, though. I mean,
it did not. It did
no.
Not.
22 was not impressed with that.
No. She did not. She was not impressed. Annie, I hope she doesn't watch this episode. Anywho, I'll save the rest of the story as we dive into the 7 stages of drunk. I feel like this works.
Dancing also becomes easier. You don't necessarily get better at dancing, but it just gets easier. Level 5, Yost. You know the little man that lives inside your head, controlling your meat suit and making sure you don't say anything stupid? Well, he called in sick today. You're on your own now. Speaking.
Oh yeah, I'm already at this level.
Yeah, no, we like that is such a liberating feeling though. Especially again, we'll touch on other things we talked about, but like when the little man who is the guy who filters everything that you've ever said in this world, which
Jiminy
today,
Cricket.
God love him. Yeah, Jiminy Cricket, God love him. That guy's the busiest motherfucker in the world today, man. Like everything you ever do, any interaction. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are as a human being. If you're interacting with anybody, you have Jiminy Cricket telling you all the time the right things to say, the right things to do, the right whatever. The moment when Jiminy Cricket calls out sick,
and always
pretty liberating.
Be your guide.
It's pretty liberating. When Jiminy's not there, you're like, oh, shit. All right, let's do it.
All right, boys are about to play.
Game on.
Speaking of calling in sick, it's time to make some shit up about how you ate some bad Chinese food last night and text your boss. When you're this drunk, pretty much every idea becomes a good idea. Like that time I thought it'd be a good idea to show off that I can do a backflip on flat ground. Now,
that every idea seems like a good idea is also, by the way, it's like, you know what? Every woman here wants to fuck me.
Dude, do you realize like what a train wreck the world would be without women? And I only say that in the sense that you say where your head was there. I remember being with a bunch of my buddies and we were up at this lake house somewhere. And it's like 3 a.m. and we were all there in couples, but all the women had respectively passed out at this point. And it was just all us guys and we're all drunk. And somebody starts talking about how far it is from the house that we have to like the local drag that's in the area, right? Like there's a convenience store 1.5 miles away. And some drunken guy at 3 a.m. is like, I could run there and back. Drunkenly, everybody else is like, fucking, I'll take that bet.
We all can do that shit.
Right. Like, I'll take that bet. So literally at like 3 a.m, it turns into one dude drunkenly trying to run to a convenience store that is closed like 4 hours ago while you're following him in a car. Like, thank God for women. They really do just like, had any one girlfriend been awake during that time, they would have interjected that is a really stupid idea. So, Jeff, we can ask this as the dads with drinks, but I wonder if moms are the same way, because I'll tell you another situation. My buddies and I, we would go play golf. Yeah, the mams.
The mads.
Mads. Oh, it works.
The Moms and Drink Show.
So we would like go play golf every Sunday because it's when we could get away from our significant others. And we would just use it for 36 holes of just getting obliterated and drunk, right? So we finish, and then I remember one time we're sitting in the clubhouse and we're watching the PGA Tour, and this guy misses a 5-foot putt. And in my drunken wisdom, I'm like, you're on the PGA Tour. How do you miss a 5-foot putt? And I'm ranting. And my buddy's like, bro, they hit 60% of those. And I go, 60%? That's bullshit. Like, they should be hitting 90%. He was like, let's go. It turns into like a $200 bet with me on the putting green with 5-foot putts, which, by the way, I hit like 4 out of 10 because I didn't take into account in my drunken mind that there were slopes and, breaks and other things. But again, drunken male minds end up going into some sort of weird competition that we are going to bet on inevitably. I just wonder what drunken women, like, what do they talk about when they're together? Like, when you get 5 really drunken women together, what happens? They're not putting on the green. They're not running 1.5 miles to the gas station.
They talk about dicks.
They talk about dicks. Well, that goes back to the work thing.
I don't know. Actually, they talk shit about their friends. I think I don't
even know, but like they don't. Yeah. All right.
We're gonna parachute out of this one.
Level 6.
I can land a backflip, but apparently gravity works differently when you're drunk. So I landed on my face, but it was worth it. I probably looked cool as fuck for that first half of that backflip. This is also.
By the way, I don't let me forget to eventually show my skydiving video on this show.
Oh, I'll absolutely bring that in.
So when you start having momentary lapses in your memory. For level 6, we have hammered. Now, every friend group has that one friend who's known as a runner. When they get so drunk and they just decide to run away. I think when you're drunk.
Now, I need clarification on this because I've been accused of being the Irish goodbye guy. No offense to your culture, Jeremiah.
No.
But I again, this is a story I think I'll share in the drug episode. But like, occasionally it's been like you were there, and then all of a sudden, poof, you Irish goodbye, and you were out.
Irish goodbye is acceptable, Jeff. Like any respectable human will take that. Okay. Runner is a different level. And if you haven't experienced this, it's the greatest thing ever.
I need to learn more about the runner then.
So my buddy, who's a very good friend of mine, his now ex-wife, she was a runner. Which means anytime that we would get out and we would get drunk over any situation throughout the night. Now, more often than not, he was the only one who was coupled up in this group. So something throughout the night would happen where single guys would maybe be hitting on other girls, whatever. Said runner would get upset about that, and she would run. The most prime example is we were at a Bruce Springsteen concert at the Meadowlands in New York. So we're at the home of the Giants and the Jets. The stadium is filled with Springsteen on the Rising Tour. And it's her and him and a whole bunch of his other single friends. Midway through the concert, she goes, "We're going to be together forever, right?" And he goes, "Maybe." That was all it took. That ignited the fuse of the runner. She took off. We were in Giant Stadium in New York City. We all live in Delaware and Maryland. And she just left. There's 60,000 plus people. And she left. And we look at our friend and we go, "Where did Amy go?" And he goes, "I don't know." We're like, well, she's with us. And so literally the rest of the night was like a scavenger hunt in this goddamn stadium trying to find this girl who got upset and ran. So we finally corral her. We get her into a car. And on our way to the hotel, we stop at a 7-Eleven to go get food. And somebody left a door open. As we had corralled her, she jumped out of said car and then took off running through a random township in New Jersey. And everywhere we would go, Baltimore City, this girl ran through more dangerous areas. Like SWAT team members would not feel comfortable running in the areas that this girl ran in. Every time she would get upset, she would just run. It was literally that. And after like the first 2 times, nobody gave a shit anymore, at least in our immediate friend group. Like people would be like, "Oh no, she left." And we're like, "Yeah, fuck her."
I don't think I've ever had a runner unless I'm the runner and I don't realize it.
You don't run away, right? I mean, like literally, dude, I chased this girl down the slums of Baltimore City.
Well, I don't run
because
away.
Her boyfriend was playing pool with some other girl.
I've walked away.
Okay, then that's fair. No, she ran. Like literally, it would just poof, disappear.
Going anywhere feels kind of like a magical adventure. One of my friends would always get drunk, take his shirt off, and just run away. And we'd be chasing him like, "Bruh, we're drinking at your house, dude." And we'd have to go find him. If you're at a bar that has a stripper pole on the dance stage, it's time to get down.
Next episode is going to be strip clubs.
Sudden urges to steal traffic cones become unbearable. What will you do with it? Where will you put it? Those are all questions for sober you. And finally, level 7, schmacked. Also known as, all right,
jam act.
Right, who peed in my pants? This is when you'll get the spins, where it feels like the whole room is spinning.
No, I've never pissed myself. was going to say I've never vomited. That's not true.
Around and around, which can make you pretty nauseous. If you haven't already, this is probably when you're going to projectile vomit all over the bathroom floor. About 60% of drunk people
amateurs
never get their head over the toilet.
Wait. So, Jeff, you haven't peed yourself, but most men that I know who have an alcohol problem, myself included, have absolutely peed somewhere that you shouldn't have.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so give me the peed where you shouldn't have story. Maybe you didn't pee yourself, but what'd you do?
Okay, so this is one. I don't drive drunk ever, except for, a couple times I probably did. And I drove home with from going on a boat. I spent a Sunday on a boat, and I was running out of gas. I had to go to work on Monday morning, so I stopped at a gas station on the way home. My shorts were wet because I was on a boat, and some dude pulls up, in front of my car. We're face to face in the gas station. He's like, "Ha, what'd you do? Piss your pants?" And I really had to pee. So I, get the gas going. And I go, he walks into the gas station. I wait till he walks out, and I really had to pee. I waited till he walked out, and I unzipped, and I pissed on the on the grill of his car. It's right there.
As we'll wrap this up, we'll get into the bad part of this, but my worst is remembering like an old high school girlfriend that I like been with him like freshman and sophomore year. And now we're like 3 years removed from high school. And it's back in the hometown for some day before Thanksgiving shit, something. I don't know. Everybody's back in town. We're all out drinking. I end up hooking up with said previous high school girlfriend. We go back to her house. There's a whole bunch of people there for a party. And when I wake up the next morning, I'm then told that in the middle of the night, I woke up and pissed in her laundry hamper in the closet. I don't remember it at all, but I was told that happened. And then I puked. By the way, Captain Morgan, this goes back to Captain Morgan.
We're not sponsored. But...
No, we're not. But I'm just saying, Captain Morgan will lead you to do some crazy shit. Yeah, so that's been my moment of where it's like you wake up the next day. Oh, it's bad stuff.
Yes. I should refresh my office story.
Oh, bring it back.
This is the level I was at, right? So where I think I said I was gathering people up, like, let's go. Who wants to hang out at a bar? This is noon.
Who's coming with me?
I've only been drinking for 5 hours. I drank an entire handle of Captain Morgan by myself. 1.75 liters. We go to a bar and they get a table and I go sit at the bar and they're like, "What's up?" I'm like, I know that I am. Things are bad. So I call. I had told a couple of my friends, I'm like, I'm gonna go office thing, blah blah blah. So I called and I'm like, "Hey, I'm drinking here on St. Pete Beach. If you want to come pick me up and save me an Uber," they're like, "Yeah, we'll be there soon." So I'm sitting at the bar drinking Crown and Gingers, my normal drink. It's afternoon. I'm not an animal. I'm drinking an adult drink. So I'm drinking, and my coworkers are at this table behind me, and I keep turning around, screaming things at them. And my friend showed up after I scared off the couple to my left, and the last thing I remember was, so my buddy and his girlfriend, now wife, showed up, and I remember they got peel and eat shrimp. And now I don't peel my food, I just eat my food. So the last thing I remember was my good friend, his wife, giving me shrimp, like it was peeled and just being like, eat this, and I was like, oh my god, if they're force feeding me,
Oh yeah.
things are about to go bad, and then
Mm.
blackout. And let's finish this video, and I'll tell the rest of the story.
Yes, let's bring this back. The saga
Also, we'll
continues.
probably not remember most of what happens after this point. This is when your number one priority should be to drink some water, maybe have a Gatorade or something with electrolytes in it, and have a little bit of food before you
Have some shrimp.
go to bed. And remember, if you're at a party, do not fall asleep with your shoes on. It is an unspoken rule that if you pass out with your shoes on, then legally anyone there is obligated
That's college shit. I also do
to
that.
draw on your face with a permanent marker. That's why I always roll through barefoot. Speaking of bare feet, one time after a particular
Also in Florida, we don't wear shoes. I don't know what the fuck the rest of the country's doing, but
particularly debaucherous party at my friend's house, we woke up to this message in the group chat. Apparently, someone left their shoes in his fridge, and we never figured out whose shoes they were or why they were in the fridge, but I can only imagine a couple of drunk buffoons absolutely dying of laughter over putting someone's shoes in the fridge.
So, my marriage fell for many levels, many reasons, but I'll tell you one of those. We had a Halloween party, and we were at my house, and we were hanging out. We were doing shots. We were drinking. You know, it was pre-kids. It was all fun. And then there's this brewery up here.
Pre-kids. It was all
Pre-kids.
fun.
It was all fun, right? So we're up in PA. There's a
Dad's
brewery
and Drink
called
Show.
Dad's and Drink Show. That's when you had fun with this shit. So there's a brewery called Trogs, and Trogs has a holiday beer that's called like the Angry Elf or Mad Elf or something, but it's like 12% alcohol. It's nasty. I was drinking that all night. By about 1 o'clock, I passed out, and I must have been the first one at my house with my Halloween party. Now, at this point, I'm damn near my 30s. I wake up the next morning, and my face is just completely like Sharpie markered the fuck up. It's everything that you would have seen when you were 18, 19, 21 years old.
Your friends and your wife is an asshole.
The wife, thank you. The friends I was a little bit mad at, but I was so angry at the wife. I'm like, how did you let this happen? I'm like, you of all people, like we had a bond.
You can't let it happen in your house.
In my house, we had a bond, better or worse, sicker or poorer, and you let them draw on my face? Like, I should have known it was destined to fail at that point, Jeff. I should have known. Awful.
Yeah, that's the saddest.
Look, how do you know when it's not right? That's all I'm saying.
Wait, you still had a kid with that woman?
Yeah. Well, I think the kid might have been incubating at that point. I don't know.
Oh, that's even worse.
Even worse. She's carrying my child and she allows them to do this.
Well, because
It's
she's
miserable.
not drunk. It's not like she made a drunk mistake.
No, wait. Then we were before that. No, because she was definitely drunk. But
Oh no,
but she's a professional alcoholic. I mean, she's top notch.
Well, I would say I'd like to meet your ex-wife, but that might be
No, please do. Jeff will take that challenge. All right, as we finish.
I can outdrink your ex-wife plus Bert Kreischer.
And here's a tip that may actually save your life at some point. If you're really drunk, do not fall asleep laying on your back. Get yourself into recovery position. That way you don't choke on your own vomit. Anyway.
Are people that fucking stupid that they... I don't get it. I don't know. I think God gave me, I wanted to be an NFL receiver or cornerback, and despite my dark complexion at the moment, it's not dark enough to be talented enough to be either of those things. Is what it is. But Jesus Christ, God gave me a gift of drinking. if you die because you fall asleep on your back and you choke on your own vomit, I feel like that's Darwinism.
It kind of is. But I will tell you, like a very good friend of mine on his 21st birthday, we had to just barely get him home. And we were worried to the point. No, we were worried to the point that we put him on the trampoline in his backyard. And you know how there's like that space between the springs? We literally just laid his face into that opening. We were like just right here out in the starlight. Like, this is where you're going to sleep tonight because 21 done kicked your ass.
Don't drink till you're that stupid, you know?
Well, nobody means to. It's what we talked about earlier, Jeff. It's the curve. Like, you think you're okay. You think you're okay. You think you're okay. Boom. You're not okay. And
look, some people can black out drunk and some people can't.
I can black out drunk from my perspective. I think a lot of people would tell you that they can't. Let's bring it back.
This is my favorite.
I sense the presence of a greater evil.
This is my favorite clip I think ever.
Check. 1, 2. Okay. Is it recording? Good. Hello, Vindicators. Welcome to your reckoning, baby!
We got to pause it just so Adult Swim doesn't trademark us.
Well, it's official. I had too much to drink last night. You guys are watching this, you're, the Vindicators. So now that we know...
Rick, what's going on, buddy?
By the way, I relate to this so fucking hard. Like, have you seen Drunk Jeff Eats? A lot of times it's like, I'm just like, oh shit, I recorded something on my fucking phone.
You guys are the Vindicators or whatever. Like, I love it.
This is the best episode.
The best passive aggressive.
Obviously, I came here last night during a blackout.
Obviously? You came here and defeated our arch nemesis while so drunk you don't remember doing it?
Yeah.
That's
sounds
something
about right.
obvious to you?
Look, I'm a little more complex than you guys, and no offense, but I've always suspected that a lot of what you do in a year could be knocked out in a couple of hours.
By the way, doesn't that relate to our office?
It really does. Like, I've often thought that what you do could be completed in a couple of hours, what takes you a couple of years. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Why not just do your job for you so we can have a little fun game?
Rick, is this a saw thing? Are you seriously sawing the Vindicators?
Morty, I'm a drunk, not a hack. If you break the rules, lose the game, or try to leave, you will die. Like in Saw. I think we've seen it.
Yeah, that's another thing. You know, one thing I've learned of recording myself while blackout drunk and eating food is I say a lot of stupid shit.
You're not nearly as original as you thought you were.
I relate a lot to Rick. Right here.
Bring us home,
And
Rick.
hold on, the money is coming.
Enough. I'll just figure out how to unplug it. Here we go. Room number 1.
The money is coming.
Yourselves.
I'm just gonna talk over this part because I don't want Adult Swim
Yeah.
to take our money and not just enrolling. But
Screw this. I'm not playing his game. I'm going to find us a way out.
I love this
Hold
part.
on, Vance. He said you'd die if you tried to leave. That means there's booby traps.
Why are you acting like that's not you?
What part of blackout don't you understand? I thought you drank.
Like cool drinking, like sexy drinking, not this psycho trailer park shit.
Vance, stay.
That's what I love. It's like he said, "What? Whoa, it's not you." No.
Right.
No, that's not me.
Cool drinking. Like sexy drinking, not
Sexy
blackout.
drinking.
Right. Yeah, no.
The whole Drunk Jeff Eats thing started kind of, sort of, with me blackout drunk recording videos to sober Jeff. And I'd be like, hey, Jeffrey, you suck. You're the biggest loser on the planet. And there's two, it's like Bruce Banner and the Hulk. I've got drunk Jeff. I've got sober Jeff. They don't like each other all the time. Sometimes they, you know.
Sometimes they intermingle, but we don't know what's going to happen.
But I love that thing where Rick, that's I've been in that moment where I'm like, well, he said, and they're like, but that's you. And it's like, but I
1,000%.
That's blackout. I can't claim ownership over this. and just real quick,
let's finish it up with them.
Oh, there's not enough people who understand. People who haven't been blackout drunk don't understand what a blackout is.
No,
I feel like this is good. You know, like we seem like we're waking normal people, but we're actually. Whew.
No, there's a point where the consciousness just completely checks out. Like nobody is involved anymore. This is primal.
Yeah. This is. Well, we'll let the late great Robin Williams.
It's your conscience going, you're about to fuck a hobbit. I gotta go. Good luck. I'm gonna leave the dick on, and after now, I'm opening up the asshole. But that didn't stop you Tuesday. Good luck. Take care.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
But I will tell you, as the public service announcement, I don't know that there's been a scarier moment in the 45 years of my life than the first time I had a conversation with somebody who was hanging out with me, and they go, "Hey, man, do you remember when you blah, blah?" And I go, like, I did what? And then there's follow-up. Like, that might be the closest to, like, that clarity come to Jesus moment. That's like, I should probably seek help at this point.
I know me saying this is going to mean that I have to edit this episode down, but I feel like it's worth adding in. Is I used to think when I blacked out, I just passed out, which is absolutely totally wrong. And the thing that eventually, when I realized, I saw a Facebook video when I was blackout drunk of me just like being like a complete douchebag, like, oh, yo, hey. And I'm like, fuck, I thought I was sleeping on the deck. And then I'm like, I live in a 2-story house and I wake up in my bed every night. Did I just assume my friends carried me from the bar all the way to my house? And not only to my house, they carried me up to my bed and then stripped me naked, by the way. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like, I never thought twice about the fact I woke up naked in my 2nd-story bed.
No.
Oh, no.
Makes perfect sense.
So I should have brought my kimono upstairs because I've got a recommendation. And this is...
Let's bring it.
Maybe my favorite recommendation I've made. I am the fairy podmother for this guy. He started his podcast after being a guest on my podcast because he thought it was so much fun. And Chris Devon from across the pond. I can't do accents. But look at this video. Drunk Guide to Britain. Come on.
This is how to avoid roadworks completely. If you stop at roadworks, get out of the car, raise your hand and shout, "Craig!" A helicopter will land immediately. Get in it. You'll know the pilot's Craig because he keeps chocolate under his arm. He is legally obliged to give you a lift anywhere. They introduced it in the 80s for pregnant women, but they don't use it because it used to land on the roof of his flat. He just wants to share his Twix. Yes. Hey, do you want some chips? This is how to skip the queue at the supermarket. Good for Saturdays. Get your shopping and enter the meat aisle. Not a euphemism. Press the button hidden underneath the turkey bacon. Nobody buys it because it's shite. The floor will open up to reveal an underground tunnel. Grab your trolley and run. Now you will emerge at the abattoir, so bring wellies. Bust! Boring bust! This is how to sneak sweets into the cinema. Put your sweets into envelopes and write the name of the film on the front. Hand them over when you buy your tickets. Now, here's the legal bit. Anything labelled with the name of the film will be fired through the projector. Take your seat and wait. Now, M&Ms are good for this because they don't hurt as much, but fudge cubes will concuss the kids, so be ready. Shithouses!
I love it. I love every time he's talking that he throws the drink. That is the greatest drunk ever.
Is so good.
Oh, it's so good.
And he's got a podcast, Too Late with Chris Devon. Subscribe to Chris Devon's channel. He is fucking hilarious. Even us Americans who didn't understand we understood the grocery line queue. That's, inline or online.
Right.
Are you online or inline up in Delaware?
I think we're inline. We're inline.
Oh, yeah. So it's only New Yorkers who are like, are you online?
Yeah,
like,
no, that's a New York thing. They just need to be special. Fuck them.
Fucking idiots.
Anyone south of there will agree. Fuck them, idiots.
Oh, shit. I forgot to tell the end of the story.
Bring it back.
So I was blackout drunk eating shrimp, and then I woke up 6 o'clock on my couch. Now, this was like 2 p.m. that my friends were force feeding me shrimp because I've been drinking since 7 a.m. And I assumed when I woke up on my couch, it was 6 p.m. They drove me home. It was 6 a.m.
Who were you on the couch with, Jeff?
I was out until after midnight, almost till 2 a.m.
No.
And I had people texting me, "Where are you? Did you find your own way home?" And I go on Uber. I'm confused. I'm waking up. I'm like, this is the next day at 6 a.m. I blacked out at 2 p.m. yesterday.
Oh, Jesus.
Apparently, I got picked up from like Kenneth City in St. Petersburg. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? So I'm trying to figure out. I got phone calls like that lasted for 10 minutes with coworkers, with friends. I've got texts from it. I'm like, what the hell happened? Finally someone the next day is like, we went to Nick's birthday party. I'm like, who the fuck is Nick? And I pull out of my back pocket, I've got a koozie that says, the man, the myth, the legend, happy 50th, Nick. I was up for almost 10. This was an 11-hour blackout.
Jesus, dude. I can't even imagine.
And I asked my friends, I'm like, how bad was I at the party? And they're like, yeah, you weren't the worst guy there. And I asked another friend like 2 weeks later, I'm like, man, I haven't seen you in a while because last weekend I got really shit-faced. He's like, yeah, I saw you.
Oh, no.
He's like, I gave you like $100 worth of cocaine to try to get you
through the night. Like, just power through it. That's a good friend.
Apparently that didn't help.
That's a good friend. So if we're going to wrap anything in the whole alcohol show, it says, surround yourself with good friends. Friends who will help you go find the runner.
Good
friends who will help you get through the blackout, right? The friends who will help you survive that night.
Yeah. Not the ex-wife who will let people draw on your face.
No shit. Thank you.
What a cunt.
What a cunt.
No offense, Mrs.
No offense.
Former Mrs.
Oh, I love it.
We out, y'all. See you for episode 6.